Hello there. My name is Mint, my pronouns are he, they, and welcome back to another video. If it's not welcome back and you have just stumbled upon my channel, welcome to my descent into madness. This is how I document it. And today, we're talking about people doing weird shit on TikTok. Again. I say again like they've ever stopped, or they ever will stop. But I can't really complain because I like to talk about it. So let's do that. Alright, we are gonna go on a hypothetical journey together for a moment. Picture this. You're just scrolling through TikTok, minding your own business. You're going past cat videos and cooking tutorials and funny little sketches when all of a sudden a recommended live stream comes up. Maybe everything seems normal to start with. It's just a person sitting there. Maybe they're gonna talk about their day, or they're gonna put on some makeup, or they're gonna play a video game. Just like normal live stream stuff. And then they say something that's kind of weird. Not like crazy weird, but just not quite a normal human sentence. Just like a step to the left.
Thank you for the rose. I'll throw it on your grave.
That's kind of weird, but it can be hard sometimes to sound natural when talking to a camera. I get that. And then they say the same thing. Again. Exactly the same way.
Thank you for the rose. I'll throw it on your grave.
And then you realize that with every gift that viewers send this person, they have this like canned response that is seemingly triggered by seeing that gift pop up on screen, like clicking dialogue options in a video game, like an NPC. Hence, the caption of most of these live streams. Dramatic reenactment aside, these are pretty weird, especially to stumble onto when you have no idea what's going on, and I want to talk about them, because I think they're really interesting. It's also partly because I clicked on one, and now it is the only kind of live stream being recommended to me on TikTok. I'm not even getting Skull Chef anymore, which I'm very sad about. And I need somebody to talk to about this, because I'm driving my boyfriend and my roommate insane. So, you are the chosen party. Sit down. I got stuff to tell you. So, from my extensive research, I have determined that there are two different kinds of these NPC live streams. The first one is sort of character-based NPCs. The second one, we will get to later. But for our first type, these people choose a character, whether it's something specific, like Spider-Man or a mad scientist, or a little bit more of like an overarching trope, like a bro or a Karen, and they then style their mannerisms and their phrases around this character. So, if each of these people doing a different character gets the same gift, say a little lightning bolt, they all have a reaction that is tailored to fit their character. Let's go through some examples, except that the kind of character gets just a little bit more weird every time. We'll start off simple with the bro kind of character.
Look, dude, you're shocking me, bro.
We also have a Karen.
A lightning bolt, that's a safety hazard. I need to speak to your manager.
And then we have a mad scientist.
You're shocking me.
And an alt elf.
Throw the switch, Igor.
I'm not sure if that's like D&D style elf or like Santa Claus elf. Unclear. And lastly, we have an ASMR style motherly deity, angel, creature.
Where's the thunder? Where's the thunder?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that last one, but they look really cool, and they clearly put a lot of effort into that, and I respect it. Quick rundown, by the way, of what a gift is and how TikTok Live works at all. Basically, you can send in comments, likes, shares, all of that normal stuff, or you could send in a gift. This is something that's built into how TikTok Live works. Each of these GIFs has a corresponding icon and name to it. You've got everything from a rose, to a lightning bolt, to a galaxy, and these all cost different amounts of TikTok coins. And of course, these coins can be purchased using actual human money. So whenever you're sending a gift in a live stream, you are essentially just sending money, but it's done in a sort of colorful, eye-catching way. So for every single gift option, these people playing NPCs have come up with a different reaction that they can do as soon as it pops up on the screen. And sometimes there are even different iterations of the same reaction if someone sends like a bunch of the same thing in a row.
Graveyard roses.
I am so curious to know if they like sit down ahead of time and make a list of all the lines they're gonna do and like the props that they're gonna need for this, because some of them have props, like a lot of props.
Thank you for the rose. Smells so good. Oh, so spicy. Ooh, ice cream. Vanilla.
Like, do you think some of them are improv'd on the spot and then they just have to remember going forward that that's the thing that they did and just continue doing that anytime it comes up? I wonder if they have cheat sheets like posted up right next to the camera so they can just glance at that every once in a while. I feel like I would need that if I was them. When I started planning for this video, I thought that there couldn't possibly be that many gift options for them to react to, but I was curious, so I looked it up, and apparently there are over 100 different gift options. Over 100. This raises so many questions for me. Do they all have reactions planned out for every single possible gift option? Does one of them have a little red hat sitting in a corner that they can reach just in case somebody picks the garden gnome? Are they prepared? This would stress me out so much. That's wild to me. It's just, it's so much. Other than potentially memorizing 100 different dialogue options, the most impressive part is when they get a bunch of gifts in a row, like a bunch, and they just have to go through their little script so fast so they don't fall behind of all the gifts that are still continuing to come in.
Can you do that for me? Meow, you're gonna make my kitty purr. She's absolutely excited, bro. We're gonna crush TikTok live. I want you to be my cheerleader, bae. Can you do that for me?
I just want him to take a breath, or drink water, or better yet, go inside. Out of all the people that I have seen do these NPC lives, this guy is the only one that I've seen do it out in public on a street corner, and I'm unsure if that makes him obnoxious to the people around him, or if it feels a little dystopian because he is spending all of his time pretending to be a fake person for strangers on the internet and ignoring all of the actual real people walking around behind him, or whether he is very brave for risking the public embarrassment. Probably a combination of the three. Everybody else I've seen does this from presumably the comfort of their own homes, which is good because sometimes it feels necessary for it to be in private. This brings me to the second type of NPC performance that people do. There's really not a good way to describe it other than vaguely sexual. I honestly feel a little bit weird talking about this part, but I cannot talk about this subject without bringing it up. However, I want to be clear, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing at all, or that people shouldn't be doing it as long as they are adults. It's just something that needs to be pointed out. There's a lot of people wearing very tight or very little clothing, a lot of men with their shirts off. There's a lot of people making faces and noises and gestures that I will not be showing in this video because while TikTok is okay with it, I don't think that YouTube would be. And I don't want to toe that line for this. But there are definitely some choices being made to appeal to a specific kind of viewer. I'm not going to argue about like the morality of this or anything. Nobody's doing anything like pornographic. They're still on TikTok. They're not on another platform. I have no problems with people doing this other than the fact that personally it makes me feel kind of uncomfortable and I get like secondhand embarrassment watching it. But that's fine. That's me. I'll just scroll past that. I'm not the viewer they're looking for. Honestly, I applaud people for feeling comfortable enough to do stuff like this, as long as they are adults, which I believe they have to be to go live on TikTok anyway. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're making bank by doing it, so good for them. I will simply be scrolling along. The singular exception to the whole good for them, do whatever makes you comfy statement is the hot dogs. That is where I draw the line. Not a single person has a normal reaction to a hot dog gift being sent. Even the most, like, normal little character NPCs have the most sexual response possible to a hot dog. Not to mention, everyone collectively decided to call them glizzies, which I know is a term that people actually use to refer to hot dogs. I understand it's a regional thing. I'm just upset about it. I'm very upset about it. Why did everyone decide this is what we're doing? I've seen so many things, and I'm upset. In his one live, a person dressed as Spider-Man made a hot dog motion so intensely that he hit himself in the face and started bleeding.
Oh shit. I'm bleeding.
I only watched like 2 or 3 minutes of this live, and this happened to occur right while I was watching it. The other, like, spider person that was with him told him to, like, end the live, and he just didn't, and just kept going. So this is actually a great moment to transition into the next part of this topic. Breaking character. Listen, people doing these lives are doing them for hours at a time, and they are constantly talking, and they're pretending to not actually be real people, so they're going to break character at some point. But I don't know why. It is so funny to me. Whether it's the bro character just walking down the street saying something about Starbucks.
This morning, Starbucks, impossible. I didn't go to Starbucks, bro.
To the Spider-Man guy hitting himself in the face, and then also getting really excited to get a galaxy gift.
Holy shit, we just got a galaxy.
Which is one that is worth a lot of money, so, like, good for them. Also a person telling people to go to a different live if they don't like hers.
Just trying to make fun of her. Bye. Go make fun of someone else. Don't come in here with that negativity.
And then a lady who just had cats sitting in her lap.
Thank you for the follow.
I saw her live come up a few times, and one of the times there just were cats. And I stayed and I watched for a few minutes because I was just watching the cats. I just think that it's fun to get a glimpse behind the curtain and to sort of remember these are actually real people and not NPCs. They're people sitting there and putting in the work. It's kind of weird work, but it is work. And I, for one, think that it's fascinating to watch. Plus, there's something just really funny about seeing people trying to act like an NPC and then breaking to just, like, drink some water. You just have a little sip of water. They could have chosen to make taking a drink of water or walking somewhere be part of their, like, NPC act. They could have stayed in character to do that, but they choose instead to just completely break and do whatever they have to do. And I don't know why that's so funny to me. I get so excited when I see them break character. Honestly, I feel like they need those breaks for their sanity. If I was sitting there pretending to be a not real human for that long, I think I would actually go insane. So, good on them for giving themselves breaks. They're putting in work and they need a break. Speaking of putting in work, how much money are these people making? 'Cause it's gotta be a lot, right? 'Cause this is a weird thing to do. And typically, I find that people only do weird things on this large of a scale if they're making a lot of money to do it. You know, if there are this many people using this format and doing it for hours on end, it has to be worth it, right? But how would we know? How would we know how much these people are making. Someone would have to watch these lives and tally up, say, every gift that they got, and then find out how much each gift is worth, and then add it all together and find an hourly average based on that. That sounds like a lot of work, and something that would be bad for your sanity if you tried to do it. So obviously I did that. I looked at several different lives with varying viewer counts. I watched around 3 minutes of each, and I tallied up every single gift that they got. And then I figured out what each of those gifts was worth, because they all are worth different amounts, ranging anywhere from like 1 cent to several $100s. I added it all up, and I did some math to figure out, on average, what they are potentially making in an hour. Now, for clarity's sake, I'm not completely sure what percentage of earnings TikTok takes for itself from lives. I looked it up, and it seems like it could be as high as 50%, but I couldn't find that information actually stated by TikTok itself, so I'm not 100% sure. All right, let's look at the data, shall we? We will start with our lowest earner first. This live had less than 100 people in it, and yet still managed to bring in an average of about $9 an hour, which is over federal minimum wage. So I'd say that's pretty good. Now, presuming TikTok does take half of that revenue, that does break it down to only about $4.50 an hour, which is less good, but still probably more than you would be making from strictly ad revenue on most other streaming platforms. All right, now let's double the viewers. A live with about 200 viewers was making an average of $14 an hour. With only an extra 100 people or so, that's a pretty decent jump. Lastly, we're going to take a really big jump and look at a live that had about 1,000 viewers, which is about the average amount of viewers that most of these NPC lives I was looking at have. All right, drum roll, please. That's my drum roll. I'm just using my table. Our total average for this live before TikTok takes its cut comes down to $150 an hour. Sorry, I think that I heard myself say that wrong. $150 an hour. Even after TikTok takes its cut from that, that is still $75 an hour. Maybe I need to start doing this. Shit. God damn. Most of these gifts also are only worth about 1 cent each. They're just being sent in so frequently that it adds up very quickly. It seems like on average about 10% of viewers that are watching are sending gifts in just the span of a couple of minutes, which is a huge amount of monetary engagement. Also, to be very clear again, these estimates are from me doing math, which should be taken with a grain of salt to begin with, and are also using a very small sample size, so it could be super off one way or the other. But I have seen several TikToks of people who have said that they've been doing this for a few hours at a time and have been making several $100s in that time frame, which matches up with my numbers. So do with that what you will. So where does this leave us? Honestly, as much as I get secondhand embarrassment from watching these, cringe culture is dead. I think if these people are having fun and clearly making bank and are aware and comfortable with the fact that a lot of people watching are doing so with less than innocent intentions, I say good for them. I think the fact that people are pretending to be not a real human for hours on end for entertainment says a lot about the state of media and the world right now, and also makes me a little worried for the mental health effects that could have on the person doing this. But that's a topic that I'm not qualified to get into. It seems to me that people are putting a decent amount of work into these lives. A lot of them have props, costumes, some of them have lighting cues, some of them are risking public embarrassment. And they're not really doing anything dishonest or shady. It's pretty clear the way this works. You send money in the form of a gift and you elicit a reaction. And so people want to do that in order to engage with the person that's doing live because that's sort of their only option. But they're not being tricked or manipulated really into doing that. It's just because they want to. Whoever started doing this figured out exactly how to work the TikTok live system, and everyone else is just following suit, and I personally think that it's really fascinating. This is a topic that I just thought was really interesting and kind of weird, and I wanted to talk about it, so thank you for listening to my essay. As always, disclaimer, please don't send any hate to anybody that I mentioned in this video or anybody doing this style of live stream. They seem to just be having fun, and they're not hurting anybody. Let me know in the comments if you have any other subjects like this that you would like to see a video essay on. And thank you for watching this one. I will see you next time. Bye!